Hi, I'm Yin and this is the Storeys Roundtable. So what is Storeys all about? Storeys is a ground-up initiative created to cause a positive ripple in Singapore through the medium of storytelling. To create an impact in our communities, we are selecting 15 content creators to create and produce 15 different and unique digital stories in order to drive a social cause which they're each passionate about. So with us today is just a handful of those content creators, amongst whom are some of the most exciting and innovative storytellers and filmmakers in Singapore today. There has always been this discussion, especially between artists, right, and I guess advertisers or marketers. It's like a lot of you agree as well as about the story, but at the same time, it's who is watching. Like, is it worth it if you are producing something with a great story, but no one is watching? What do you guys think?
But it's about how you want to contribute to the conversation. It's like different platforms that you use contributes to a same kind of topic, a same kind of conversation in a different way. Whether it's hard selling or soft selling or making someone think and have some kind of introspection for themselves, I think every medium has a different means of getting to that same point. So, yeah.
And there's always different kind of audience for different kind of things. Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on like there are stories whereby it's told for the world, and there are stories that is told for a community of like maybe 1,000 or 10,000 or 30,000 or for a nation, or So I think the voice doesn't have to be big to make an impact. As long as it impacts the right people, then it's a story worth telling, right? Do you agree to that point? You're thinking.
Check. Television.
Yes, please rebut that. If you
I
can.
think it's because going back to the topic, there's so many different like platforms, hence there are more content creators in all these different platforms. So like it's a matter of how you want to contribute, or is your vision and your story worth contributing to the conversation, or are you adding to all the like junk and fake news that's out there? And I think like there are two sides of it. Maybe there's also a gray area where people are just like, yes, I can contribute to that and I'm just gonna do whatever. But then there's this other side where it's like, am I really contributing something substantial to the conversation, or am I just like helping to create a space that's more negative? And I think of course everyone would like to be and on that positive end of the spectrum where they're contributing something that is, well, I guess subjectively important or worth thinking about. But the sad truth is that even maybe if you think that you are contributing something good, it might actually be shit. So
But how do you judge?
again,
them?
it's subjective, so I don't want to go.
I mean, that's a very valid point, right? Yeah, who decides what's
what is
junk and what's
No
good?
one does. It's your own perspective when you watch something. It's like every day I listen to, in the morning I wake up, I go like, okay Google, can I have the news for today? And then they give me the news, but how am I going to know whether it's fake or real? Or I mean, like, even though it's the news, what I see on Google is so different. What I hear on Google is so different from what I see on Facebook. So it's what I want to believe, what I want to accept. Whether I hear it first, or maybe the person who said the news is a lot more engaging, so I listen to that and I didn't like see the shitty video with like bad visuals on Facebook, then
But I mean, what you're saying is that who should be like some people
the person
with
who
a
judges,
good voice, right?
But you can't
Now,
say
how do
who
you-
judges it. It's your own opinion on it. So I'm not saying like there is a mediator or like
Right.
there's a specific person or specific group of people that says what's right or wrong. It's just that you yourself have to know and have your own opinion on what's right, what's wrong, what's good and what's bad. And if you're a creator, if you're an artist of some sort, have that opinion and hopefully create good work that you think is good. And I think that's pretty much all you can do. Yeah.
Totally agree.
I've also come to know that internet, there is an opinion that people have reducing attention spans, and there's a problem. But at the same time, we also know for a fact that more and more people are watching longer and longer pieces of content. They are watching, they're binging. So they have the time, I mean, you might think they may not have the time to watch your independent, creative film, which is only 80 minutes, but they have the time to watch 150 hours of content on different platforms.
Downton Abbey, the 80 episodes.
So they have the time. The attention span is not a problem, and I know. So it's just their filter has, like, I think we spoke about it. some time ago that the filter has become much more like fine, so they can detect bullshit, and they will leave you as soon as they detect it within first few seconds, first few minutes, whichever the platform is. I mean, on Netflix, people give more time. On YouTube, it's just a skip button you have to press. That's it. So people are internet is giving opportunity to content creators to tell stories. And even though attention spans are reducing, you still have much more opportunity than you had 10 years ago, 15 years ago, or even worse, non-internet age, where practically you only watch TV.
There's only that one medium that
There
you
was
can
only
watch,
that one
right?
medium with the cable channels, and there was the thing that people could change the channel.
Yeah.
So even back in non-internet days, also people had to retain audience. That's why the concept of cliffhanger came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we always forget that the internet is still really young. When it first started, like there is a lot of like we just watch whatever is given to us, right? Like when there's only like 5,000 people on Instagram, you follow every one of them, you know. Yeah. Now you curate your own stuff. And also like I think your observation is so accurate. Like when our initial YouTube's algorithm used to be like 1 minute videos, then 2 minute videos. Now it's like 20-minute videos, 30-minute videos, because we kind of know how to pick the things we want to watch nowadays. And when we find that thing, there's no way we're gonna leave it. Yeah. So in a way, we are channel surfing, just not so directly. So when you create content that is really good, people are gonna subscribe to you. People are gonna stay with you because they want that, and they know it's not that easy to find anymore.
Yeah. In fact, they'll wait for you. To be
Yeah.
honest, if you make good stuff. Yeah.
So I mean, as content creators, I mean, to a certain extent, you guys are all still chasing after views, right? It might not be as direct, but you want to tell this message to the audience. You want the audience to watch it. Whatever interpretation they might take from that, it's up to them. But you need people to watch it. So right now, with all those data analytics, I mean, it's just more transparent and it's easier to get those numbers transparently. Do you think that drives you guys though? Or is it to you guys, no, I really don't care?
Okay, so I kind of analyze that there's two kind of filmmakers. One is a very commercialized one, and one is a very non-commercialized one. Is that whether being commercialized is you do get the audience, you do get the money because you make commercials, make money. The non-commercial one is don't care whether or not you got audience, or don't care or not we make money, as long as you want to deliver your story. So sometimes, I mean, it's always good to be in between because you do best of both worlds. Then but then also in this internet age, it's all about being commercialized sometimes. So then again, I have this concept where I feel like nowadays, because like what Andie said, like at the start of internet is like we just watch whatever is on the internet. Then suddenly a lot of good content on the YouTube. Then we are very spoiled for choices for like very good quality content. Then suddenly now is where the age is there's too many good quality content on the internet. Then you are spoiled for choices again. Then now it's more about it's not about quantity, it's not about quality, it's about what you have in the content, which is the concept that will capture the audience, like something clickbait, how clickbait works, how titling works. So then that's where as filmmakers we want them to make the first click to watch your content. So that is the most important part of the thing. Yeah.
Claire, do you actually have a different opinion about this? You're like, fight.
I'm still more lean towards the commercialized directing, the content creator or filmmaker part. Yeah.
I think that they are just two very different means of making use of video. Like commercial, I cannot do that. Like I don't know how, because that's not in my vocabulary or my knowledge of how to do things. So I don't think it's a comparison. It's more like I can't do what you're doing. And like for me, I just prefer to work on things that I'm happy working on, and I think that's it. I'm very simple.
But I have to say again, being commercialized, I also do want to have a bit of like having morals and values inside, like which I still want to have a bit of the non-commercial side of me inside, instilled in my works.
So it's not just
super commercial. I want to get your views or etc. and all that kind of thing.
yeah, whether or not the message is
Still need to have a bit of thing. Still positive vibes ultimately. Yeah, it's not to just for the views, I want to do something negative and then ruin the society, etc.
I think the view is very different. Like I personally don't understand or think about like views, and I'm not even very active on social media to so my knowledge of that is like very low. So I don't know how to I guess, you know, when you make adverts or commercials, it's all about manipulating an audience, right? So I don't know how to, I guess, manipulate an audience that way. Maybe in other means, other forms of filmmaking, I would know how, but just in a commercial sense, I don't know.
Maybe for me, because I treat filmmaking as a business. So when I feel like I'm not making money and I'm not being recognized enough or being, how to say, like noticed by majority, so that's where I try to hate myself more towards being recognized, easily noticed, is to get attention. I mean, ultimately to get attention. Then that's where you get jobs. So that's how I slowly stray towards the commercial side. And I said, it's like business lah. Filmmaking is business to me, so must make money ma. Yeah.
Ultimately, we're all prostitutes. Like, we're all just selling some part of ourselves to earn money or to earn validation or to earn fame in some way or the other.
I think we found the title for our round table. We are all prostitutes.
But it's true.
Where's the
I
pin?
mean,
It's true.
we are selling some part of ourselves to gain something. Everything is a transaction. Like, for me, you know, my day job would be to work as an assistant director. That's a transaction for my work in return for cash and satisfaction that I'm doing a good job in like the creative side of things. Well, sometimes logistical. As a director, then like my satisfaction does not come from money at all. It's really about whether I made something that has had some kind of impact on someone, and that's all there is to it. Then that's where my satisfaction comes from. But ultimately, I'm still selling some part of myself. Like, my films are definitely about myself, one way or the other. So it's giving something in return for something else. It's just whether that's money or not.
Well, I had those days where I just do things now regardless of money, make money or not. Those were when I'm slightly younger. Then when you start to realize that you want to make more things but you got no money, then that's where you think, how. So that's where I think like I need to make money from doing not that I love money or not that I want to, it's just that I want to have more funding and more money to make more content. So it must be a ecosystem where I can make money out of my content. I can produce more content. Yeah.
I think film is a very expensive medium, and you just need money to make films. It was as an art expression, of course. If you can find somehow in a place where you have access to financing money and you are relatively independent, say Kurosawa, just saying example. You are still independently thinking, you have access to financing, you can make films which are very personal, very high class, and very good. A lot of people like those films. But because film is an expensive medium, you ultimately need money and you need to set up a team to make a film. I mean, you can make short films, small scale films with very limited crew, but even those people have to be paid or somehow sustain a living. So with that understanding, you might as well come up with an understanding of how you want to do this, how smartly you want to do this. Do you want to make films which are as much true reflection of yourself as possible, given the constraint of the financing that you need to organize to make that film? So it's a balancing act. It doesn't always happen. You can't always strike it right all the time. Sometimes in some projects, commercial means take more charge. Sometimes artistic means take more charge. It also depends on what kind of people gathered to make that film, make that project. Sometimes you have the right set of people and you make the right kind of film. And it's also very, very close to what the producer who's on board vision is. So it's very subjective. You can't do one broad stroke of all my films are going to be artistic and that's it. I'm not going to make a commercial film. Well, look at Roma. The amount of budget that went into marketing is insane. Everybody has seen that film. Everybody has seen that film. And 10 years ago, it wasn't possible to watch a film like Roma in a commercial. It even came on theaters in some parts of the world, where these films were festival films. They used to come to festivals and go. Now, so we have to understand that this is where we are going to.
It's a fine balance between.
Yeah, I think as a filmmaker, your job is to strike that balance all the time, to make that film that you want to make, yet somehow make it possible also.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think there are different directors, right? There are directors who just make film for commercial sake, and they can have perfect craft, perfect technicalities and everything, and that's great, fantastic.
Yeah.
Then there are directors who try and strike the middle ground. You know, I do 3 commercial projects and I do 1 project that I love. And then there are directors and filmmakers, and they just want to make their stuff. They don't care if people watch it. And I think it's so important for this group of people to just do that as well. You know,
Yeah.
there are some of these directors that they became big, and then eventually like they can take 3 years to. You can take 3 years, you know, to shoot their film, whatever, and then like nobody's gonna say anything, you know. But they've gotten that big to do their art. But if they haven't pursued this path in the first place, and they kind of succumb to find the middle ground or becoming very commercialized, then they're gone. There's no way back to that anymore.
And they would have created the space
Exactly.
for a lot of
Yeah.
Except
But slowly Bankarwai also became very, like, I saw, not pointing names, but I met somebody who worked with him, and that person told me that even an established director like him, who we think is very artistic and he totally does not get driven by commercial, is very, very cognizant of where the film is going to do what in terms of the salesmanship of it. So we have these theories about a lot of these filmmakers who we think they live in an artistic kind of ivory tower, whereas the reality is they're also very much human beings who know who's going to watch their film, how they're going to watch it, and why these films will work in certain part. And Bankarwai is a brand name. He knows how to do that. But of course, what you are saying is right, that he started thinking that I should make films which are totally non-commercial driven, just make films which are my expression, and he created a space for himself through that goal.
I think I connect a bit with what you say, because I started with MediaCorp, the corporate TVC side. So I started off very commercial. And then I went to work for MTV, and then making stuff for the young youth. and then I got very bored. So I'm starting myself for commercial stuff that is broadcasted out. So I started making personal stuff. And then somehow the personal stuff won a few awards, and then they won more awards. And then suddenly I'm seeing myself going the other side. It's like my escape. I will do my daily jobs, broadcast work for bread and butter. And then when I escape, some people take a holiday, I do my films. And somehow they win awards. Luckily, And then strangely, the next few years I've been doing more and more of that. And then I found myself going a different route, if you call it the so-called art way. And I just carried on. So I'm not sure what am I. Do I belong to you?
You hybrid law.
But right now, do you feel like you have struggled of thinking how can you make money or find audience to watch your film?
Because like I said, back then, if you make a film, there was no internet. You make films and you go to film festivals. If you don't go to film festivals, then you have no audience. But right now, the whole landscape has changed such that if you don't go to film festivals, it's fine, you know. You can still find your audience, which you do, like you do, online. And that's fine too, you know. It's just how we perceive our work now to be. You don't need to go to film festivals anymore for viewership. You can go YouTube. It's each personal perspective, how you want to go.
I think sometimes it's about finding, not just about finding audience, but finding the right audience for the kind of contents you want to create. Because, to be honest, I'm not so sure about the distinction and definition between like what's commercial and what's art house per se. Because in the European audience have a different taste. And they like to watch what we perceive as art house films, but they are commercially viable as well. So I think it really has to depend on, I think for me personally, what I want to focus on is I want to be sincere and honest in terms of creating the contents I create. And and then finding the right audience for me. Yeah, I think that's also another perspective.
I think that's a very good point.
Yes.
Sincere, honest, yeah.
I think what we have sort of established is that using what you mentioned as a starting point, right, as a conversational point, is where you mentioned somewhere like, you know, in the French market, maybe something that is very art house might not be considered art house over there, but it's considered art house here, you know, and something that is more commercialized, or what we deem commercialized might not do so well in other countries as well.